And another thing that you can do is using the swing in Logic. You can use it in Live. You can use it in Cubase as well. I don't know how to get there with all the other elements, with all the other software. But with Logic, you can do this thing, which is go over here. And I'm a big fan of the 16B swing. 16C tends to be really housey, old house kind of style. 16D gets a little bit too extreme and a little bit too shuffly. What it does is basically shift the note a little bit. They're not perfectly in grid. And let me play. The groove is lagging a little bit. No, it's more like dragged, shuffled. That's the actual word. What if I put in 16A? It's gonna be in perfect grid. It's a little bit. You can hear it's a little bit stuttery. It breaks it a little bit. 16B is usually my favorite. And I mean, what I was telling you about milliseconds, I don't know if you can tell. Like, this is literally, I don't even know how to look at millisecond. I don't know if this one right here is the millisecond, but it's nothing. It's like a fraction of a second, but you can still feel it. Like, the difference between this and this, to me, is huge. I don't know if you can actually hear it, but to me is huge and changes everything. And 16C, again, it's a little bit more dragged and more funky kind of thing. So yeah, definitely what helps giving grooves is the shuffle. So yeah, when you do percussion, if there's time, I'm just gonna like open a new session and quickly just throw some hats in there and so that you can really understand how the swing works. But yeah, I don't know what software are you on? Logic and Live, yeah. In Logic, yes, it's right here. Live, I don't know how to get there, but yeah, I'm sure that there is because I used it a couple of times. Then let's keep going with the whole hi-hats. Again, it's like a lot of little details that you probably wouldn't even pick in the whole song, but now you can hear them because I'm soloing everything. Let's see if there's like something that is particularly important in the percussion. Maybe I bring something more over here. That should be like full on percussion part. Of course, this is gonna be the main. This and another one. This is gonna be our main hut. The actual biggest element of our percussion. That it's usually when the big hi-hat is in, it's the biggest point of the percussion part. Also, there's a ride over here. That's this one. This one helps balancing once again the kick. It gives some high frequencies to the kick. Let me put. It helps to make the groove a little bit richer. Usually the ride is one of those things that when you take it down, it literally like makes the whole groove like, oh, there's something missing. So let me Let me play for you without the ride. Like you can feel that there's literally a big chunk of sound that's going away, and yeah, usually that's what the ride does. It has like this kind of sparkling frequency that helps filling the tracks quite a lot, and it's really useful. You can use it on beat, but it also works well off beat. So you can use it on the kick like this, but also does a good job when it's like this. It's not as effective, especially because right now there's a lot of things going on the offbeat. And once again, balance. There's a lot of things going on there. We don't need anything else, but we can drag it over here where we only have basically the kick and the clap when it's on the second one. So we can definitely fill that part up, put high frequencies where there are not, because the kick is mostly bass. It has high frequencies, of course, but yeah, with the ride you can complete that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And this thing, yeah, took me a couple of weeks to get it right. My girlfriend almost broke up with me because she hated this percussion part. Yeah, and well, everybody thinks of at producer as, you know, robots that just sit there and make things happen, but actually, you know, there's a life going on, and there's people around you that are like, seriously, what's wrong now? You've been working on this percussion 2 weeks. Just they work. And actually, Koglin, my Koglin did the first percussion on the track and sent it back to me, and I was like, the percussion don't work. And he was like, they work perfectly. Everybody loves them. And I was like, no, we have to remake it. And it was like, okay, well, whatever, you make them. I did my part, you make them. And I was like, okay, I'll make them. And yeah, 2 weeks after, I nailed it. But that's what I'm saying. If you can get a loop that does all of this in one file and just simply drag and drop it there, you got it. It works. But yeah, I hope this got you a little bit more, it cleared it up. Cool. So other question was you? Cool.
I was just going to ask, for your bass, you'd sidechained with that LFO plugin, and for your reverb, you were sidechained with a compressor the traditional way. Like, how do you decide to do it with the LFO or the traditional way?
That's a good question. Right, it's really simple because the sidechain that I wanted on the bass, it was regular. It was on beat, so it was 1/4, and it was definitely it was kind of an offbeat bounce. While the sidechain on the chords, you can't set it with the tempo on the plugin. I mean, you can, but at that point, that plugin failed to be something quick, because what you would have to do is, let me quickly open it. It's not this. There you go. It's cable, guys. It doesn't want to work today for some reason. But what you should do, let me just open it with LFO tool. It literally just does the same thing, and you can see what's happening. So what you have to do is know where your chord transient is. This is another reason as to why you don't do that, because it's really okay. Let's say you know that the first transient is right here, and then you have to find the other transient. So it would be okay, other transient, and then there's the other transient here. that's gonna go like this. So I need to put a point, and then I need to put this, and it's gonna go down, and then it's gonna have to be mute for the whole time, right? But then you need to do this set with the right tempo that you want it on, and you don't have an actual visual point of where your chords are. So you need to try, because they don't go with the right tempo. They play this rhythm instead of right. So it's literally just quicker to have the chords doing the job for you, especially because let's say you want to have. Let me quickly do it. I'm just gonna do it with an edit on the wave file. But let's say you want to add this variation. Okay. Let's say, okay, I found the right tempo for the chords. The reverb is bouncing perfectly with this plugin, but I want to have this variation here. At this point, what the whole work you did with this plugin is going to fail because it's not reacting to the transient of the chords. It's reacting to the automation that you did here. So that's why I didn't use the plugin in there. It's literally quicker, and you have the freedom. It's always going to react to whatever you do in this chord, while here you should program it. I do have cases, but I either mute the bass in that part, or I do an automation where the bass frequencies of the bass are gonna go off, so I have more room for the kick. There are other cases where you want the kick to play, let's say some dubstep rhythm, okay, and you want a pad to go along with that kind of dubstep rhythm. In that case, yes, the best thing to do is once again use a compressor. But what I always do is always have a ghost track, for the same reason as I said with this. The tail of the kick would mess around with the release settings of your compressor. So what I always suggest is having a ghost track of the kick with a really short sound, the way that you have all the freedom that you want for the compressor to design as much as much as you want. Cool. There was another question there, or am I wrong? No? Two there. Cool.
Question. Hello.
Hi.
When's it best to put in automation? Like, would you maybe make the track first and then put in automation after, or put in an automation at the
Okay,
same time?
so first of all, I hate automations.
Thanks.
I think everybody does. I mean, it's a really not artistic kind of job. But usually I put a quick automation. Like, okay, let's say I know that in that part I want an automation, and then I'll be like, okay, it's just a cutoff. Let me just drag 2 points and just have an automation over there. Most of the time, I feel more. I like better to lay the whole track down. I definitely know where I want the track to be. Where I want my filters to be down, when I want my automation to actually work. So I just put down the track, and then I'll be like, okay, I know that here I'm going to put an automation. I'll draw the points later. So yeah, definitely, unless it's something particularly creative with automation, I do it afterward. Then yes, back to the workflow kind of argument. I do have a few tricks that I will tell you about automation, because I think automation is one of the most time-consuming things during the process of making a track, along with design, sound, and picking the right samples. And yeah, definitely after, unless it's something extremely important. Like for example, here, so there's a lot of automation going on in this bass. And the bass is not playing again for some reason. Okay. So there's one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 different type of automation going on. And yeah, at this point, I knew that I wanted the bass to have all this crazy stuff going on, and yeah, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it. This part is still in the intro part, so as I said before, it was one of the last thing I did, and while I was doing it, I was like, okay, it needs to be like this, and so right now I'm just gonna get to that point and work on the automation right away.